Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, I just got done with All-American Season 5, Episode 16, called My Name Is. Guys, it's good to be back with All-American. You know, I know we were on like a short break, and we were on a break, then we had a couple of episodes. I think we had like 4 episodes or something. Then we went back on break, but now we are back with All-American. It's good to be back. They really kicked us being back, you know, for these next couple of episodes before the season ends. They really, you know, made a great episode to kind of start back up with the show. I guess it was kind of like, you know, Easter break, and that's why they like went on break for like that short bit. But it's just good to be back with All-American. And, you know, like I said, this was just another great episode. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of sad moments in this episode. There was a lot of happy moments in this episode. In this episode, of course, this is the rebuilding phase of GAU. That's really what's going on with Jordan and Spencer at GAU. And, of course, they had a couple ideas from, you know, Billy's playbook about, you know, talking to some, you know, people that kind of lost opportunities or kind of, you know, and kind of did some stupid things that, you know, kind of cost them a big chance to get into like a college and to kind of, you know, get to the big leagues and stuff like that. So, you know, it was really cool because they're like, they went in a way, I would say in this episode, they kind of like took from Billy's, like literally from Billy's playbook about giving people second chances. And I'm really happy that they did that in this episode, that Jordan and Spencer, you know, we might get in trouble. Yes, Coach Kenny might not like the idea of like, well, this one dude, you know, this one lineman not playing for 4 years. And this one dude having, you know, having a record. But, you know, I really do think that they deserve second chances. And I think we should, you know, just invite them. Even though this isn't just, you know, you have to, even though it's an invitation to come to these tryouts, it's not an open tryout. And, you know, they kind of give them invitations, even though they kind of have an idea of like, okay, like, you know, there is no guarantees, but, you know, I still think we should give them chances. Like, we should give them a shot. And then we should just show Coach Kenny just when they get there that, oh, you know what I mean, that this was worth it, that we did this, even though you need an invitation, but we see potential in them. And I think there's more to the story about the one dude that had the record. I think there's more to a story, and we end up finding out the one dude that had the record, he had a breaking and entering record. He also had, you know, a weapons charge on his record. But he did all that because, you know, his mom and his sister were homeless, and he did what he did to survive, even though he's like, I regret what I did, but right now what I'm doing is I'm helping young athletes at my gym, you know what I mean, to get them right, make them, you know, make smart decisions so I can, you know, send them off so they can go, like, give it their all in college and get them where they need to be. Which is, like, it's commendable that dude's, like, even though my dream is gone, I could still make a new dream, and I can still give people, you know, help people, and so they can achieve their dreams. And I love how Spencer's, like, he's giving this dude a second chance, saying, like, you should have gotten a second chance. No one should have held that against you for you doing something, and like, for you doing a stupid decision, but in a way, the only decision that you thought possible to help out your family. So I'm glad that Spencer did that and was willing to listen to this dude's story and give someone a second chance. Like, someone gave Spencer a chance, Billy, and look at Spencer now. You know what I mean? Billy took a chance on him, and look where Spencer is now, doing all these great things and making his way to the NFL. And he's kind of repaying the favor, like Billy a favor in a way, by, you know, giving someone else an opportunity, a second chance, so they can, you know, succeed in life, and so they can, you know, get into college, so that way they can get to their big dreams that they once had about getting into the NFL. And the one dude that Jordan talked to ended up having a kid, and Coach Garrett pretty much, you know, sidelined him and pretty much made it where, like, you know, he was about to sign for, you know, to join GAU, but pretty much, you know, like Garrett kind of, you know, sidelined him, saying, that's not happening because of the fact of him having a kid. And it's kind of like, you know, even though he hasn't played for 4 years, you know, Jordan is pretty confident that, you know, this dude, you know, deserves, you know, a chance, because, you know, he was almost, you know, he, like, if anything, you know, he would be in the NFL by now. You know what I mean? In those 4 years that, you know, he kind of, you know, hasn't played football, there was a chance he could be in the NFL. He's like, I want to give this dude a second chance. So I really love how they're kind of taking the lessons that Billy has done, like, you know, they taught them, and is literally taking it from his playbook. I love that. It's like metaphorically and like physically. And I love that about, like, that's what they chose to do. I did not love the fact that Coach Kenny was so against, you know, saying, oh, they're wash ups, you know what I mean? They're washed out, you know what I mean? They're just, you know, they're too old now. They can't do this. And pretty much, you know, not willing to give them a second chance. And it was so keen on, like, that one dude having a record, not even willing to, like, kind of, you know, find out why that dude had a record. But like Spencer's like, why don't you find out why? And like he has the record. Like I found out why and stuff like that. I mean, eventually he does like look into why the dude has the record, but like he was not willing to like see what Spencer and Jordan were willing to see and see the fact that he's giving these dudes second chances. And it's like that's the big thing is that it's so hard, you know what I mean, nowadays, or like when people make dumb mistakes or or something happens, it's like no one's willing to reach out and give someone a second chance. And the fact that they're willing to do that and they learned that lesson from Billy is very like awesome. And I just thought it was weird that he's like was not willing to give them a chance. He's like, oh, this is an invitation to do that. These dudes are washed up, they can't do this. And when they ended up showing up, he's like, I don't want to also like, I don't want to break these dudes' heart again. Like, like you're making it sound like there's no guarantees, but you're willing to make them come here. And it's like, they've moved on past their dreams and they've been doing other things. And now it's kind of like, if they don't make it, now I have to go tell them and break their hearts that, they did all this for nothing, that they got their hopes up. When it's like in reality, they knew the risks going into this, tryout to be a walk-on at GAU. They knew the risks, that there was no guarantee, but they loved the idea of that someone asked them and someone gave them a second chance. That's the thing Kenny wasn't understanding, is that you're giving them a second chance. Yeah, they know there is no guarantee, but it's the fact that it's the little thing of that you're giving them a second chance that no one gave them, and people just turned their back on them. Coach Garrett screwed over, that one dude that Jordan was talking to. I can't remember his name. And then freaking the one kid did what he needed to do to survive and help his mom and his sister survive, and he did something stupid, but no one was willing to see from his perspective and give him a second chance. You know what I mean? But they're willing to do that. They are literally like carrying out Billy's like legacy, but also making their own legacy. And it's like the life lessons that Billy taught them that they are using. And I just love that about this episode. And like I said, I didn't like the fact that Coach Kenny was all against it. And of course, when he saw them, pretty much, getting the rust off of them when they were on the field doing what they do best, he saw that, okay, that I did see what you guys were, talking about. Like, I am willing to make them a walk-on and give them a scholarship. So I just loved that aspect of this episode, of them kind of showing Kenny, is that it's the fact that you do the little things. It's that they know there's no guarantee, but they wanted someone to come to them saying that, I want to give you another shot at your dreams. That's what they were trying to show Kenny, is that we need to be the people that give people second chances, because not a lot of people will give us second chances in this world. So I loved that. I really loved how they took Billy's message and they kind of like took from his playbook. I love that. It's so awesome. But the other thing going on in this episode is that Coop ends up getting officially into that class. I can't remember the one teacher's name, but he was a real jerk. And he said, oh, you might want to chill out. Like you have to meet up with this group, the study group, but you might want to like, you only get one first impression. You might want to chill out with, with your slang and stuff like that, and the way you talk. And it's like, that was real messed up, that he like is literally like being racist. Like, I mean, like saying, oh, you need to watch the way you talk, and because you only get one first impression, they might not like you or whatever if you talk the way you talk. When it's like, in reality, it's like, be you and show them who you are. Don't change for anybody. And I'm really glad that eventually, she warmed up to the group and she just started saying, you know what, screw it. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to like let this teacher get in my head. I'm going to be me. I'm going to show them who I am. Because at the end of the day, who cares what people think of you? You know what I mean? You should only care. You should be the only person that cares what you think about yourself. You shouldn't care what other people think about you, and what, you know what I mean? And you shouldn't have to change for anybody. So that's what I really love, is that, Coop was like, I'm going to be me. I'm going to show them who I am. And they loved her. And that teacher just got in her head. And that was just really weird, because it seemed to be that, mind you, that this teacher judged Coop. Like, you know what I mean? You should never judge a book by its cover. And this teacher judged Coop by the way Coop looked. Just judged her, and then got to know her, and has the nerve to say, oh, you got into my class, but also you have to meet up with this group, and you only get one, one impression of yourself, you know what I mean, and one first impression, you know what I mean, you should make a good impression and not talk the way you talk. Like, that shit was whack. But like, I'm really glad that Coop, showed people who she was. I was like, that's what's up. And they loved her. And it was really cool seeing, the Coop making friends and stuff like that. And they really like love her perspective on how she talks about certain cases and certain things. And I'm really loving that for Coop. But I really I'm annoyed at Skye. I don't really know. I kind of remember what's going on with Coop and Skye, about how like Coop didn't like how Skye was kind of getting really close to, Patience and stuff like that, and really getting close to the Vortex. I understand that, but we kind of got away from that, and there's been so many other plot lines going around where it's like I did not take, Skye's side on this one, about Skye being upset that Coop didn't make it to her social media, like how to survive the internet as an influencer. Like she did her big speech about that, and Coop couldn't make it because she got accepted into class, and for her to be accepted into the class, she needed to go to that study group, and so she had to miss, Skye's, big speech that she had, even though she wanted to go. And the thing is that, previously early in the episode, before she finds out from Skye that, she had or finds out from, when earlier in the episode she finds out from Layla that Skye had that event going on, and Skye didn't tell Coop that she had that event going on. And then the next thing you know, she ends up going to Skye, and Skye's grandma ended up getting hurt. She hurt her hip or broke her hip, and then, Skye's like, oh, it's just a bruise, it's not a big deal. And then Coop's like, you didn't tell me about that, about you having this speech. You didn't tell me about your grandmother. What's going on about you not telling me things? And Skye's like, oh, well, I didn't want to bother you about stuff that's not important. And it's like, Skye's being petty. If there's a problem here, you need to talk to Coop. I really couldn't take Skye's perspective about their relationship at all from what I was seeing. Mind you, I don't remember a lot previously what was going on, but I don't see anything about what Coop is doing is wrong, because in reality, like, Coop wanted to show up, but she couldn't because she had to go to that, because if she didn't go to that study group, she wouldn't have been accepted into that class, and her wanting to be a lawyer wouldn't come true. She's doing the things that she needs to do to become a lawyer. That's what she's doing. So, you know what I mean? It's like the fact that Skye didn't understand that when like Coop was like telling Skye how like, oh, like great news, I got accepted into the class, and you know what I mean? And and I had to go to the study group, that's why I wasn't there. And my one teacher told me I couldn't talk the way I talked because they wouldn't like me. But I said screw it, and they ended up liking me. And all Skye could say is that you didn't show up to my speech. And it's like Coop is really excited about telling you about this, and in reality, it's like Coop realized what she did was wrong, and you didn't give Coop a minute to kind of trying to like make up for the situation. And of course, Skye said she was done with Coop, which is like I just can't take Skye's side, because she was lying to her previously about not telling her about things. And in reality, it's like she could not miss what was going on at school, because that's a big opportunity and a big light, and that's a life-changing moment that will eventually get her to her dreams. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you guys are both busy. You guys need to like, you guys kind of need to like regroup. When, you know what I mean? You guys need to understand that you both are busy, and kind of regroup and make it up to each other for being busy. Not just like not telling Coop about, stuff that's going on in your life because you're upset about something that I can't remember as a watcher and a viewer of the show. It's to me the like, agree with you not telling Coop about things. It's like one of those things where it's like, I can't agree with you, and I don't see what Coop is doing is wrong. I'm very confused. So, and also, I don't know. I really don't care much about the Skye character. She's not Patience. I really loved the Coop and Patience relationship, and I know we're probably never going to get that back, but she's not Patience to me, so it's like I really don't care. But in reality, I hope that they end up making it work out, and I really hope that Skye can understand like why Coop couldn't miss it. But in reality, Skye did say like all I wanted was an apology, but she really didn't give Coop a moment to apologize, in her midst of being really excited about her being accepted into the class that she's been trying really hard to get into, so she can become a lawyer. So it's like I couldn't take Skye's side on that. But I'm really curious to know, guys, on your opinion, like, how did you feel about that? Do you think Coop was wrong? Did you think she was not wrong? Do you guys think that they should have just regrouped and understand that they're both busy and they need to regroup and just talk about their day and kind of try to make it up to one another? You know what I mean? Like how, like, you know what I mean? Because, that's how you make relationships strong, is that when you realize that you both are busy, but you guys try to make the time to make it up to one another, and you know what I mean? And keep the relationship strong, you know what I mean? And that's why I didn't see, you know what I mean, from Skye's perspective on her just like kind of, keeping things for Coop for like no reason, because again, I don't remember if maybe there was something previously on why she was keeping things from Coop. But other than that, them kind of, Layla and Patience and Olivia end up going to Skye's, kind of how to survive the internet as an influencer. And it was really good. I understood why that Patience and Layla was going, mainly for Patience, because Patience needs to get away from Nico and all that crazy situation. So I understood why, like, okay, this is how to survive the internet as an influencer, which, Patience is an influencer because she's a singer and stuff like that. So I love the aspect that really tied in very well. And also I loved the fact that kind of like Layla was trying to get away from the fact that she is trying to make, like, she's looking at label designs on trying to how to fit the Keening name in her new kind of like, label, like the new, renaming of the label. She wants to do a big, party for the renaming of the label, and kind of trying to find a logo for the Keening, for the Keening name. But she can't figure it out. She kind of in a way feels like, since I wasn't able to have the Keening name before, I was building the legacy of my mother with her name. But now that I do have the name back from Clay, how do I, like, I feel like if I drop that and I pick up the Keening name, I'll be letting down my mother. But if I keep my mother's, the name of my mother that I use for the label that I built on my own, I feel like I'm letting down my dad. And I kind of feel like I'm, I did all that stuff with, I made all that drama. I asked for the name back for Clay for like no reason. So she's kind of like in a jumble of like, how do I not let anybody down, and where's the middle area where I can, like, where I can kind of, follow the legacy of both of them, and make my own legacy, and also keeping the legacy of both of my parents alive. Like, where's the middle ground? Where am I in, like, where's my kind of, like, where do I, like, where's my middle ground in all this? Like, where can I, like, feel like I'm honoring both of my parents? And it was really sad because while they go to the event for for Skye, Olivia's also going through some things about how she feels like kind of guilty, like not guilty, but regrets not putting her name on that article about getting that award. So she kind of regrets that. So she's dealing with her own issues. Like, I feel regret on me not using my real name on that article, because it's a big deal that I'm getting, that I'd be getting that award for something that was the last thing I did with my father. So, you know what I mean? So she kind of feels like upset about, like, she regrets not putting her name on it. Because she didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but at the end of the day, she's like, damn, like, I could have gotten an award, and I feel like, I regret that. So she's dealing with that as well. But when they go to Skye's, talk, her, big speech that she had, they end up seeing that someone is having a quinceañera, and they kind of want to, like, be someone else for a day. So they end up going to the quinceañera. It was funny because one of the girl that was having the quinceañera and ended up noticing, of course, Patience, and wanted Patience, like, she's like, oh my god, my parents got me, Patience over there, Patience, oh my god, like, and are you gonna sing for me, or she's gonna sing for us guys? And Patience is kind of like, oh, like, I'll do it, like, she's cute, and she's a fan, and this will make me feel better about, how like, she kind of feels still bad about how people are, like, looking at her about the whole Fire and Ice video, not some people not liking the new Patience and some people liking the new Patience, and she's kind of like, this gets my mind off of who likes me and who doesn't like me, and the fact that this little girl likes me, and this makes me feel better, so I'm going to take this opportunity. While Layla and Olivia are like, let's leave, they like, our cover is blown, they know who you are, and this girl thinks that you're going to sing for her, and her parents got you, hired you to sing for her, like, let's just get out of here. But she's like, she wants to do it. And I really feel bad because the little girl was, I guess, the parents of the girl that's having the quinceañera said to the little girl, saying that, like, we really love who you've grown up to be, and that, you're half white, and you're part white and you're part Latina, and and you're gonna continue our legacy on, and you're gonna build your own legacy, and we're really proud of you. And and finding out who you want to be and how you realize that, and kind of like, if you see Layla being up, like, it's really hitting her because Layla doesn't know who she really is, essentially, of like, should I continue with my mother's name and the label, or should I take my father's name and the label? Like, who do I want to be, essentially? Like, what legacy do I want to build? And she was really struggling with that, and you really could tell it was, like, really hitting her hard. But it hit Olivia hard when it was ready for the father-daughter dance at the quinceanera, and you could just see Olivia just like break. And I felt really bad because it's the one thing she's never gonna get. And that was what she really has been struggling with. Like, I'll never get that father-daughter dance at my wedding. And I've talked about my wedding since I was little, saying that I can't wait for my father, for my father to walk me down the aisle and us to have that father-daughter dance. She's never gonna get that. And she really was like, that really made me upset. Like, it made me like really sad for Olivia. I would say a little bit even more than Layla, because it's like that's something that she eventually will figure out. But at the end of the day, you can't figure out the fact that Olivia is not going to have that dance with Billy, and it's really upsetting. And I really love that Layla was like saw that really hurt Olivia hearing that. And it's really sucks also because like they wanted to escape Layla and Olivia from their issues that they were having about Olivia, about how she was feeling about her regrets about not taking credit on the article and going to get the award, to like Layla not really knowing who she is essentially. And they wanted to go in there to get away from that, but it's like even when they went there to try to get away from it, they were reminded that you can't run from your problems, you need to figure them out. And you know what I mean? It's like, and this is reality. You can't run from it. You can't change your name. This is reality. And it really sucked because also, like, initially Patience didn't want to go in there, but they did. But Patience got to feel better, got to kind of like have her feel better moment, but they got to have a moment where it's like, no, you guys need to be put back in reality, that this is what's going on, and you guys need to, go full force at this and figure out how to get past this and how to figure out, like, and figure things out. But, by the end of the episode, Olivia's like, I want to, like, ends up talking to Jordan Spencer. It's like, I want to go to the award ceremony, and I want to get the award and come forward with my name, and that I actually, with my real name, and say that I made up the Jaden Davis name, and this is my real name, and I want to take credit with my real name. And of course they're like, we support you, definitely go do that. And of course Layla, we're not quite sure what she'll decide on, if she'll maybe like mix them both up. I'm not quite sure. They're about her, like the Keenan and her Rebecca. I think that was her mom's name of that. I think it was like Rebecca something that, I think that was Layla's mom's name. Guys, remind me, was it her first name that of Layla's label to honor her mom, or was it Layla's mom's last name? I can't quite remember, but I think it was Rebecca. It was like Rebecca Records or something like that Layla was doing. But she needs to find a middle ground of like, how do I honor both of their legacies and I don't let my mother down, and I don't let my father down. So hopefully she'll figure that out. And pretty much the biggest thing about this episode had to have been about JJ. That's the thing that hurt me the most about this episode, was JJ. That thing really upset me, because you could totally tell that JJ was tired in this episode, that he is giving it his all, trying to show Coach Montez that I'm not letting anybody else down with football, that I'm serious about this. But he's also struggling because the one dude from his fraternity is wanting JJ to like prioritize the frat, wants him to prioritize that over football, even though JJ said at the party that eventually that JJ ends up kind of like caving into this dude that's in charge of, like, that's the head of the frat, ends up caving into him, saying, okay, like, we'll have the new kind of the mixer bringing in the new pledges at the beach house. And he's like, I don't I don't live at the beach house anymore. And he's like, you still pay for the beach house, don't you still? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, then we're gonna have it there, and we're gonna like start getting some new people in our fraternity. I guess because it's I don't know if it's like rush week or something, where like they're getting in all the new pledges and stuff like that. I don't know. But he wants them to throw the party there for all the new pledges to join the fraternity. And JJ is trying to tell the dude initially that, oh, I don't want to I don't want to be a part of this fraternity anymore. I don't want to prioritize this. I want to prioritize how I got here, which was through my scholarship for football. And of course the one dude at the party said like, oh, like football, you're not prioritizing this fraternity. He's like, I need to prioritize football because I got a scholarship for football here. And pretty much making JJ feel bad, saying, oh, you're the life of the party, we need you to liven this party up, you're a buzzkill, blah, 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 blah. And the one dude that I guess is a legacy, there's one kid that's a legacy, was talking about, like, oh, like, vegan hot dogs, and talking about, like, oh, like, kombucha, and talking about all that bullshit. And JJ's like, this dude, who cares if he's a legacy? He is not this fraternity. He's not our fraternity material. And the one dude that's kind of like is a broski, literally the one dude that's like in charge of the fraternity, he's a broski, and I expected that he would not like the fact that this nerdy kid is talking about kombucha and vegan hot dogs. I expected that more from that dude than it annoying JJ so much, but it annoyed JJ to the point where he's like, this is annoying. This kid can't even hold a paddle right and ping pong. This dude is not, who cares if he's a legacy? He's not fraternity, worthy for our fraternity. Who cares if this kid's a legacy? And the one frat dude wasn't caring to the point. He said, oh, for you, JJ, to kind of I could see that you're sleeping and you're not the life of the party. And if you want to kind of, become that again, meet me upstairs, you know what I mean? So you can, we have a couple of party favors that might, get you moving and stuff and get you pumped. And here I am thinking, JJ, no, don't do this, man. Don't do this. Come on. You wanted to tell this dude, you wanted out, get out. Don't let this dude get to you about being the life of the party. You've worked too hard trying to prove to, Coach Montez that, and trying to prove to yourself that you're trying to get back on track. And you know what I mean? And you're okay. Let's go, man. You, don't stoop to this dude's level. Who cares if you're not the life of the party? Who cares? And it got to the point where, this dude, the one legacy kid, was getting ready to leave. And JJ went upstairs. He was talking to his friend. His friend... He's like, oh, JJ's like, oh, I'm here for some party favors, man. What you got? And he's like, he's like, are you okay? And JJ's friend was like literally dizzy, about to fall over. And he said JJ's like, what did you take? And he's like, I took some Molly. But the thing that it is, and we ended up finding out, the Molly was laced with fentanyl. And JJ had a realization, on the one dude being very lucky as one friend surviving by one pill, but if he would have took 2 pills, he would have died. And JJ has a realization, said to Asher, because Asher was like, what's wrong, JJ? What's going on? And because JJ kept just saying to Asher, the party's over. The party's over. And then that's when Asher's like, JJ, what's wrong? And he tells JJ, my friend's in the hospital. He took Molly, but it was laced with fentanyl, and he took 1, and luckily enough, he's okay. But if he would have took 2, he would have died. And that's when he tells Asher, I was getting ready to take 2 to be the life of the party because he wanted me to be the life of the party. And I had the realization that I would have died. I would have died, man. And that really crushed me on the fact that, oh my God, he would have died. Because I knew when he was going up, he was going to ask for something. And I bet you if the one dude wasn't all loopy and weird, JJ would have asked for it. And could you imagine? JJ had the realization, oh my God, I could have died. I don't want to be the life of the party anymore. I need to get away from everything. He's like, I need to get away from school. I need to get away from the fraternity. I need to get away from football. I need to get away. And you could see in Asher, what have I done? We have not been paying attention. I'm glad that Asher kind of by his look, he kind of had the realization oh my God, we have not been paying attention. Look at JJ. Because JJ's it's okay. You know what I mean? I need to go though. You guys can't be here for me. I need to go. And I swear to God, though, if they let JJ, if Asher lets JJ, say, oh, I'm okay, I don't need you guys, I need to go away, and he's not trying to, and I need Asher and the whole group to be as stubborn as Olivia was to everybody else, telling everybody else, you're just gonna let it be that simple, where, Spencer is pushing everybody away and is acting different, to the point where, you guys are just getting ready to just call it quits and not be there for him, and not be stubborn to the point where, we're not gonna go away and we're gonna help him no matter what. I need Olivia to be as stubborn as she was about Coop and about Jordan wanting to just call it quits with Spencer because Spencer was being a jerk. I need her or Asher to be how Olivia was about telling everybody, we cannot let JJ push us away. We can't. He says that he says that it's okay, but he needs to be alone and he needs to leave. We can't let that happen. We need to be there for him. We need to let him know that we're here. Because I'm sorry, it took Asher way too long to sit down and say, what's going on, bro? I'm here. It took him way too long. And I understand that everybody's going through their own little thing, but there is no excuse at the end of the day, because guess what? Olivia was willing to do that for Spencer, and not even just for not even was it just her saying to Spencer, like, oh, I'm not going to let you push me away, blah, 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 blah. She went to Coop, she went to Jordan, and she went to everybody else and rallied up everybody. Hell, she even called Darnell out to show Spencer that we're all here for you. I need Asher, since Asher was the one that to witness that, to gather everybody and say, F everything that we're doing right now. This is important. Drop everything. Drop everything. Same as how Olivia, like how everybody was on Live Watch. I expect everybody to do the same thing and be on watch with JJ. I expect that. Because I'm sorry, this shit's been pissing me off as a fan of the show. And as kind of like, this is bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, these are shit friends that JJ has. It's not even sugarcoating it anymore. Like, I'm glad a lot of people, like, you know, because someone made a post on TikTok. I do that I like on TikTok. And he was talking, and he watches All American, and he was even saying, like, I need everybody to be here for JJ because he's there for everybody else, but no one's there for him. And I'm like, thank you, dude. Like, I'm glad I'm not the only one that's been saying this. Like, he's always there for everybody else, but no one's ever there for him. And it feels like, you know, it's almost like it would have been almost too late if JJ would have taken those pills. It would have been too late on Asher not, like, on knowing that JJ's been tired and knowing that something was up with JJ. Him not jumping on that. Could you imagine how Asher would have felt and everybody would have felt like, oh my god, we were too late? They got lucky that that JJ didn't take those 2 pills, and kind of like that dude had like the reaction that he had for JJ to be like, okay, and stopping him from taking those pills, for even ask for those pills. They are lucky. They need to now know that we cannot kind of, you know, be late to this problem again. We need to be there for JJ as JJ's been here for us. We cannot be late and afford to be late next time because something bad could happen next time. We came too close this time. I'm hoping they have that realization. Like, we came too close this time. We almost lost a friend, and this shows that we haven't really been there for him, and we've been crappy friends. We need to be here for him. I expect it. I expect them to do the same thing that they did for Liv, whether it be, you know, them doing Live Watch for Liv, or not even exactly that, but just them checking up on JJ. And I expect it where, like, Asher will gather everybody and be like, you know, drop what you're doing. Like, we can't give up on JJ. He wants to push us away, and he wants to leave everything behind. We need to be there for him. Simple as that. And at least that's what I hope. Asher doesn't just get to move on and forget that this episode and that conversation didn't just happen with JJ. I need someone to act on this, because I'll be real pissed also if we never see JJ again and he just leaves. Because that will show me, like, oh my god, these writers, man, really did not know what they were doing with this character this season. They made JJ, they screwed up this character in general. I think they did, because it's like all the shit that's been happening with JJ has come out of nowhere, and we haven't really gotten any reason why things have been going down like this. Any reason why our characters are not noticing what's been going on with JJ. I mean, the only one that's been knowing on that's been really kind of knowing on what's been, I can't even speak. The only person that really has been knowing what's been going on with JJ is probably Olivia, about the fact that when she caught him drunk showing up to the thing. She knew kind of like in a way that, oh my god, you might have an addiction. And then, like, we've had, you know, Asher kind of see that, oh, you've been partying too much, you've been drinking too much, or whatever. And they've kind of everybody's been kind of sidelining JJ. No one has been. The only thing JJ wants to hear is that, what's been going on, dude? I'm here for you. Let's talk. I'm worried about you. No character has done that. And only now, after JJ almost dies, that's when Asher sits down and asks, what's been going on, JJ? I'm here. I'm like, bro, if things didn't play out the way that they did, bro would have been dead, and then you would have realized, oh shit, I screwed up. We all screwed up. I just need these characters to kind of like be here for JJ. Like, all these other characters are there for everybody else in the vortex, but no one's ever there for JJ. It's so frustrating to me, and I need to know if you guys understand where I'm coming from, because this is ridiculous. He almost died. I was literally crying. My sister was downstairs, and when he said that, I was like, oh my god, bro, like, you're right. He would have died. I'm kind of getting teary-eyed. Ugh, fuck. I'm kind of getting, like, teary-eyed right now thinking about that. He almost died. That's crazy to me. And it's crazy. This character really doesn't deserve. I mean, doesn't deserve all this pain and no one being there to kind of like help him through it. He really doesn't, and it's sad. I'm really hoping that like we'll see a turnaround with this friend group and being there for JJ. But other than that, I'm gonna be pissed if these writers just write him off and him saying he has to leave everything and they just write him off and we never get to see JJ again. That will be such bullshit to me if that's what these writers do, because I'm already annoyed at the writers for them doing this to the character for no reason when we don't know what's been going on. It's very frustrating to me. If you're going to do this to a character, make us understand what the character is going through and why this is happening, because even then I still don't know what's going on, and it's very frustrating. So I don't know. Other than that, this was another, like I said, it was another great episode. We only have a couple more episodes left. This was episode 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We only have 4 more episodes left, because I think we only have 20 episodes this season. Like last season as well. I think we only had 20 episodes. But it is crazy to think that we're almost done with this season. I'm really hoping we get a turnaround. JJ needs his friends, and his friends need to realize that we haven't been friends. We haven't been good friends for JJ. We've been lacking. We've been so caught up in our own bullshit that, we forgot about JJ. It's like we've been here for everybody else. Like, we've been here for Liv. You guys have been here for me, meaning me, like Spencer been like, you guys have been here for me, but we haven't been there for JJ, and look what he's going through. He's broken right now, and he almost died because you guys were not there. That's just mind-bending to me. That it's crazy. But yeah, guys, we're gonna watch next week's episode 17. I actually have it all preset, so we're about to get into that. Let me exit out of here. I'm probably gonna regret that too, because I hit exit and hit minimize. But we're just gonna get into it. About episode 17. I don't know what this one is. Oh, I think it's called Mask Off. Because I think this one was called My Name. I forget, but that's interesting why it's called Mask Off. But we're gonna get into it right about now.
There's a rumor our team is sending ex-cons and has-been players.
Liv is spiraling. What if people think that I'm a fraud?
Go after the life you want.
I'm a star running back who happens to be gay. I just want to train in peace.
Yeah, this episode is going to be, like I said, this next episode is going to be fire. I'm really enjoying the fact that we are getting a lot more football, too. We're kind of back on track with football. I got to say, I've been really getting annoyed that we have not been getting that much football. But now that, GAU is back up and running, and they've gotten some new players, and they've given them scholarships, meaning the two dudes that, the one dude that hasn't played for 4 years, and the other dude that, had the record. And like I said, it's like this episode was about giving second chances, and also this episode was about having a realization of kind of like, when something is wrong with JJ, when he had the realization like, I don't want to be the party anymore, something is wrong here. And you know what I mean? And also kind of finding yourself and realizing when you make a mistake. With Olivia, with her not taking her kind of the credit for her award, and her finding herself, meaning like for Layla finding her about who she is, about her mother and her father's legacy, like what legacy do I want to live, like how do I not let people down. So I really enjoyed this episode. It was a really good episode, and it should be very interesting to see how this season ends, because we still have a lot of things that we need to do before the season is over. Mainly with the Miko situation. I think I said Nico, but Miko situation. That's her name, Miko, I think. So we still have a lot going on with the Miko spying on Patience, and Patience still doesn't know. So that's probably the biggest thing that we got going on. And also I would say the JJ thing is a lot bigger, because I need that resolved quickly, especially after that. About him almost dying. I need that way more than I think I need it being resolved with the whole Miko situation. That's secondhand to what's been going on with JJ. Personally, that's how I feel. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. Let me know like what made you kind of annoyed about in this episode. If you guys had anything that's been annoying you, mainly it was definitely the thing with JJ. I'm really upset that I feel really bad for that character, man. I really do, because that's one of my favorite characters, and they've been screwing him over this season. But yeah, guys, yet again, that was the video. Again, here, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put those notifications, like this video. I would love to have you guys here, a part of the fam, a part of the channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And yet again, guys, we are almost to 700 subscribers. That is the goal, to hit 700 subscribers. And my initial goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That is really the big goal. I'm trying to get a YouTube, play button, and I'm trying to get it. So I want to get that plaque. So that's the goal, guys. So again, here, if you love All American and you love all the other things I do here on this channel, definitely go, browse the channel, because I have a lot to offer on here on this channel. Again, I would just love it. You know what I mean? I'm just a dude, talking about things that I love and spreading love, positivity, and motivation. So if you're, if you love the sound of that, definitely, like I said, subscribe to the channel, put in those notifications, and like this video. Remember to share this video. Share it to the, to the people at All American. Go share it to them. Go share it to CW. Go share it to the cast of All American. Go share it on Twitter and tag the cast of All American. Share it to, if you watch All American and your friends or your family watches All American, go share my review. Like, you know what I mean? Like, definitely, if I say anything interesting here in this review, and you're like, oh, my friend thinks that way as well, definitely go share my video, because it helps out a lot with the channel. It helps really build and grow this channel. When you share my videos and when you like the videos, it helps really, like, build this, fam up on here on the channel. So definitely remember to share and like this video, and again, subscribe to the channel and put those notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But guys, that was a video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.